These are some things the church should stop telling single people. Let's get into it. Hey, welcome or welcome back to my YouTube channel. Thank you for clicking my video and joining me on my corner of the interwebs. My name is Sally Oriko. For those who are new here, so someone asked me in my DMs what happened to my voice. Yes, I never used to sound like this. So I got a cough, and then which actually totally, I don't know if it ruptured my voice box, but it destroyed somehow my voice box. So there was a moment where I lost my voice. So now it's getting back, and I kind of sound like a man. Yeah. My best friend says it sounds sexy, but anyway, we move regardless. My voice is slowly coming back. That's why I sound like this. But thank you for the concern, and thank you for engaging with me in my social media. If you haven't already, you can click the links below in the description box. Follow me on my social media platforms so we can engage on there. Today we are going to talk about things that the church should stop telling single people. There's a statement people make: we are waiting for you. This usually happens when you're at a wedding. You're at a wedding of a young couple in church, and members have attended, of course, and you guys are busy dancing and you're enjoying yourself, and then the deaconesses or the aunties wa kanisa come up to you like, yeah, we're waiting for you, yours is next. Yeah, don't do that. Just don't do that. We're here to celebrate the young couple, not me or anything. But I do appreciate that you're looking out for me, but now is not the time or place. Okay? Also, I appreciate that you're waiting, but is there anything that you're doing to help me progress, to help the waiting be a little less, right? Because you're just waiting. You're not praying. You're not pointing single men in my direction. You're not putting the single men in my direction. Uh, what are we doing? We're just waiting. Just stop, please. Just stop. Another statement that the church makes: be content in Jesus. Am I not supposed to be? No, of course I am, but that doesn't mean that I don't desire. That should it automatically make my desire for marriage stop, or my desire to find my forever person stop. Of course, I'm still content in Jesus. I don't understand why you need to tell me this, because it doesn't have context behind that. I mean, Jesus is everything. He's supposed to be the priority, right? But, and of course, I'm also content in Him because He's provided everything else except this one thing. And I'm praying about it. And I'm content that, yeah, He's going to do something about it. You telling me this helps me how? No, Auntie, please, how does it help me? Now, there's this statement that church always makes, and I don't know where okay, I know where it came from because research. God helps those who help themselves. Now, this statement comes based on the backbone of the story of Boaz and Ruth. I'm like, first of all, that is not biblical. That statement is not biblical. Stop saying it. Okay? Second of all, stop using the story of Ruth to encourage women to shoot their shot. Now, okay, hear me out. Personally, as me, I don't think there's a problem with you just shooting your shot. But there's a way to do it. Like for females, like there's a way to do it, okay? But what they are suggesting, what is being suggested is you going right ahead and actually cutting the guy, right? And they use that particular segment in the Ruth and Boaz story, where Ruth Naomi encouraged Ruth to go and sleep at his feet, and yeah, and then Boaz woke up and saw Ruth there, and no, please, you're using the Bible out of context. Okay, that Ruth did not help herself. Okay, we need to read the text first of all very with wisdom. There was wisdom behind it, and this culture and all other factors considering. Stop encouraging females to go shoot their shot, especially if your son, Mama Boy, is not built like Boaz. Let's just call it like it is. Boy is not built like Boaz. Okay? Boaz is a very respectful man and he did things by the book. Your son is not. So stop it. Just stop. Now, this next statement comes in the context of like it usually said when you're at a bridal shower or at a lady seminar, things like that, and you're talking about relationships. The old women will go like, when I was your age, men used to, I'm sorry, auntie, but when you were my age, bread was 5 bob. Chivalry was not dead. A boat ride at Uhuru Park and then bread and soda for lunch was considered a very good date. Because right now, the expectation and reality, wow, it's just ridiculous right now. Because men are being raised, and I say this very loosely, men are being raised to be submissive, men are being raised to want submissive providers, and I say that very loosely. I don't know where the ball dropped. The ball dropped somewhere in the 2000s because men want submissive providers. Women would rather date your husband than your son, and everything is just gone topsy-turvy. Like, the rules, I put that in quotes because it seems like it keeps changing. The rules and regulations of dating and community and communication between men and women somewhere changed when the 2000s came, because now men are acting like women and women are acting like men, and that's just the reality of it. So please stop telling me when things were good at your age. Things were actually a lot simpler when you were my age back in the day when bread was 5 bob. They really were much simpler. If you actually go sit down with an older couple and just ask them that one question, how did you guys meet? It's actually a love story, a really good movie worthy love story. Right now you ask people how they meet. They met online, they met at the club, they met because he was cheating, they met because she was cheating, they met under some sketchy circumstances, and people expect that relationship to end up happy. Because let's just frankly, which is another factor, and it should be a factor in all these other things, God is not in the center of most relationships. You want what you want because you've seen Nani has it, so now you want that, you get. And then the older generation don't really tell us the reality of relationships. I want to know, okay, Sawa, your dating phase, your courting phase, when he pissed you off, how did you guys resolve that conflict? Or that day then, because there were no cell phones back then. How do you guys communicate? I know it's through letters and smoke signals and runners and beating of drums, but still there was communication. So how would you know, okay, that drum beat is mine? It's boy telling me that he misses me. As in, like, there was a lot more things. Like, people were intentional about dating. People are intentional about cutting. Right now, people just want to be in the relationship for shits and giggles. It's vibes and inshallah. And then you get to your late 30s. You get to your 30s and over, and then you start wondering, kwani kunaendaje? Like, what's going on here? Where you get, and then the people who actually were lucky enough, and I say that very loosely, lucky enough to find a partner and get married in their 20s, are now in their 30s, and they're telling and advising you, don't get married because marriage is a scam. What they told us is a lie. But then you are not telling us what lies it is that you are told and what you're experiencing, because you don't want to be judged. I get it. You don't want to be judged. But the church needs to find some sort of way to communicate the realities right now, the realities of life, especially when it comes to relationships, so people can be more informed and more intentional about being life partners for someone else. Because people are going into relationship without information. People are going into relationship with fantasies and expecting those fantasies to come true. But and then when they don't, divorce is like saying hi these days. As in, like, the amount of divorce people, and then it's always, at least with my church, it's always the 2 year mark. You get the 2 year mark, divorce. And then when you really ask, or when you really find out why the divorce, it's something that could be avoidable with a conversation. It really is something that could be avoidable with a conversation, but for some reason, these two parties are too much into their ego that they don't want to talk about it. And I can go on and on and on and on about some of the things that the church needs to start telling single people. But I want to hear your opinion. Comment down below if there's something I missed out, or something that maybe I've heard the church tell you. And the church in this sense is the deaconesses, elders, aunties, people, the church people in the church, people who call themselves Christians. That's what I mean. What have they told you? How did you react? And what some of here's a change. What some advice, whether you're single or married, that you can give people, that's real and raw and true about relationship, or about people who want to be or desire to be a husband or a wife. Love to hear in the comments down below. Engage with me in my social media platforms. Everything is in the description box below. I would love to hear from you. Thank you for joining me, and I will see you guys in the next one. I love you. God loves you more. Bye.